All right, welcome to this explainer. Today we are exploring a massive mindset shift when it comes to personal finance. We're going to dig right into the core concepts from Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money, looking at four undeniable, honestly kind of brutal truths that will completely change how you view your bank accounts, your investments, and your everyday habits. So, what if I told you that financial success isn't actually about how smart you are? Just think about that for a second. Because from a very young age, we're essentially taught that doing well with money is just one giant math problem. We're conditioned to believe that wealth is basically an IQ test. If you just memorize the right formulas, you win the game. But what if doing well with money has almost nothing to do with your raw intelligence? See, we're taught to think about investing in these super rigid clinical terms. We think it's all math, spreadsheets, and data. But the messy human reality, it's driven by ego, fear, pride, and envy. In the real world, people absolutely do not make major financial decisions while staring at a perfectly calculated spreadsheet. No, they make them at the dinner table. They make them while they're stressed out, fueled by their own ego, their fear of missing out, or maybe even envy of their neighbors. The core thesis here is absolutely crucial. Financial success is not a hard science. It's a soft skill. It is entirely about how you behave. So here is our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with behavior over financial genius, move into getting versus staying wealthy, dissect the man in the car syndrome, uncover the power of compounding, explore how money buys you freedom, and finally, mastering your behavior. Let's jump right in. Part 1. Behavior over financial genius. Why soft skills beat spreadsheets. Part 2. Getting V's. Staying wealthy. The survival mindset. There is this massive, fascinating paradox in finance. The skills required to reach the top are entirely different from the skills required to stay there. Think about it. Getting money requires you to be aggressive. You have to take risks, be incredibly optimistic, and really put yourself out there. It's an offensive game. But keeping money, that requires the exact opposite toolkit. It requires a defensive game that relies heavily on humility, a really healthy dose of paranoia, and this constant, sobering acceptance that everything you've built could literally be taken away just as fast as it arrived. Which leads to this crucial takeaway: you need a plan for when your plan doesn't go according to plan. So many people out there are absolutely fantastic at getting rich, but they are terrible at staying rich. And why is that? Because they treat their wealth like a high-speed casino game that they have to keep winning at maximum velocity. If you just keep pushing all your chips to the center of the table over and over, eventually you're going to lose. To stay wealthy, you need what we call a survival mindset. You've got to anticipate failure, build in a margin of safety, and recognize that pure survival over the long haul is way more important than a massive short-term win. Part 3. The man in the car. No one cares about your cool stuff. Okay, picture this. A beautiful, roaring $200,000 Ferrari pulls up next to you at a stoplight. We all do this. We see the car, but we almost never look at the driver and think, wow, that guy is so cool and successful. Instead, our brains do this funny little trick. We project our own desires right into that driver's seat. We think to ourselves, wow, if I had that car, people would think I am cool. This is the man in the car paradox. We buy these luxury goods to signal to others that we've made it, but the reality is, onlookers bypass admiring you entirely. They're way too busy using your possessions as a benchmark for their own desire to be admired. And this illustrates the massive difference between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich is just current income displayed. It's loud, it's the Ferrari, it's the extremely expensive watch. But true wealth is what you don't see. It's the money not spent. It's the assets sitting quietly in the bank, the investments compounding in the background, the expensive cars you actively chose not to buy. Wealth is hidden flexibility. It's that financial cushion that gives you options when life inevitably throws you a curveball. It's a complete redefinition of success, moving away from consumerism and straight towards security. Part 4. The power of compounding. The math of boring consistency. I really want you to burn this number into your memory. 90%. Over 90%. This represents something truly astonishing. Warren Buffett is universally recognized as one of the greatest investors and richest people alive today, right? But here is the absolute shocker. Over 90% of his massive multi-billion-dollar fortune was accumulated after his 65th birthday. Let that sink in. It wasn't that he was necessarily picking perfectly magical stocks every single day. It was the fact that he started when he was a child, and he literally never stopped. The ultimate formula you need to remember is this: time is greater than returns.
The math of compounding is completely counterintuitive to the human brain. We naturally want quick results, right? So we chase these astronomical, highly volatile, short-term returns. We want the stock that doubles overnight. But you don't actually need astronomical returns to build massive wealth. You just need good returns that you can sustain for a very, very long, uninterrupted period of time. Time does all the heavy lifting. The longer you leave that snowball rolling down the hill, the more unstoppable the avalanche becomes.
So, how do we actually lock in this compounding mindset? Well, just remember that boring consistency beats rapid, aggressive trading every single time. You absolutely do not need to find the needle in the haystack to get astronomical returns. You just need steady, average market growth. The real secret is sustaining that growth uninterrupted. Don't panic sell during a dip. Don't interrupt compounding unless you absolutely have to. Just let time do the heavy lifting. Buffett's true genius isn't just his stock selection, it's his superhuman consistency over 3/4 of a century.
Part 5. Money buys you freedom. The highest dividend money pays.
So, what is the ultimate purpose of acquiring all this wealth anyway? Morgan Housel frames it beautifully. He says, doing what you want, when you want, with whom you want, for as long as you want, is the highest ROI you can ever achieve. See, money isn't just a scoreboard. It's not just digits on a screen or a tool to go buy expensive toys. At its highest, purest form, money is simply a tool meant to buy back your time. The ultimate value of wealth is freedom. You can have a massive salary but zero time control. You could be earning $500,000 a year, but if your boss owns every waking second of your life, if you can't even attend your kid's soccer game, if you are perpetually stressed out, you're essentially broke in nice clothes. True wealth, on the other hand, is all about options and flexibility. True wealth means waking up on a Tuesday morning and deciding what you want to do. It means having the freedom to pivot to a lower-paying but way more fulfilling career, or having the financial cushion to handle a sudden family emergency without even a shred of panic. Control over your time is the highest dividend money pays. Part 6. Master your own behavior. Being emotionally reasonable. Your ultimate directive here is pretty straightforward. Stop trying to beat the market and start trying to master your own behavior. We spend so much time and energy trying to outsmart the global economy, trying to time the next big crash, or trying to find the next hidden crypto gem. But as we've seen today, managing money isn't about being coldly, perfectly rational like some kind of robot. It's about being emotionally reasonable. It's about knowing your own flaws, keeping your ego in check, resisting the urge to show off, and having the patience to let compounding work its magic over decades. If you can master your mind, I promise you the math will take care of itself. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a lingering question to really think about today. Which of these 4 financial truths do you struggle with the most? Is it that transition from getting wealthy to staying wealthy? Is it the man in the car ego trap, the extreme patience required for compounding? Or maybe it's the realization that you've been chasing a salary instead of chasing freedom. Take a hard look at your own daily habits and use these truths to build a mindset that truly serves you. Thanks so much for joining me, and keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep mastering your behavior.